like to begin with the Princess Juliana International Airport. Here we'll have the table of content, the introduction, the aviation performance of 2023-2024, the financial update, and developments and project in a brief nutshell. So the Princess Juliana International Airport is an award-winning international hub that serves approximately 1.5 million passengers annually, primarily from North America, the Caribbean, Latin America, and Europe. As the backbone of St. Martin's economy, PJIAE is responsible for around 60,000 of its island's GDP, driving both economic growth and development. This summary outlines PJIAE's key operational, strategic, and performance for 2023, along with insights for 2024 key areas of focus. And the focus will be including on digitalization, recovery efforts, connectivity, and seasonal traffic management. PJIAE is moving forward with its digital transformation efforts, launching a new digital entry form called Entry.SX on October 8, 2024. This initiative will streamline the entry process for travels around arriving in St. Martin, allowing them to complete the form up to 7 days before the trip. By simplifying procedures and reducing wait times upon arrival, this innovation aims to improve efficiency at the airport. Also on the digitization initiative, with the reopening of the Princess Juliana International Airport in October 2024, it is set to become the most technologically advanced airport in the Caribbean, incorporating the latest biometrics and facial recognition technology in partnership with the industry leaders like SITA, S-I-T-A, and VisionBox. Committed to maintaining its leadership position in the years ahead, PJIAE is in the final stages of developing its new 20-year master plan 2024 to 2043, and this plan will focus on a sustainable expansion. Once completed, PJIAE will present this to the Council of Ministers. Under the organization, I would like to first and foremost take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the entire organization, consisting of approximately 300 dedicated employees whose perseverance and commitments since the hurricane has been truly remarkable. I would like to acknowledge the invaluable contribution of both current and former employees who played crucial roles in recovery from the storms and during the challenges posed by COVID-19. Special thanks go to the security officers for ensuring the security of the airport operations, the operations department for maintaining the efficiency of daily operations, the fire department employees for their constant readiness and support, the quality assurance team for upholding the high standards of service, their air traffic controllers for expertly managing our airspaces and ensuring operational safety, the technical staff for maintaining and upgrading our infrastructure, and the construction workers for their ongoing efforts to improve and develop our facilities. Also, for sure, the financial team for their careful management of financial resources and strategic planning, and administration and statistics team for their support and analytic contributions to our operations. Your collective efforts have been key in overcoming these challenges, and your dedication is deeply appreciated. Thank you for the resilience and unwavering support during these last 7 years, especially during the reconstruction of the airport. The Princess Juliana International Airport Holding Company is currently in the process of selecting a new Chief Executive Officer, a CEO, for the PJIAE NV. Nearly 30 applicants has been received for the position, which will become vacant in December 2024. The application deadline was August 31st, 2024, and BDO is busy reviewing the application and will recommend a shortlist to the Supervisory Board of PJIAE, and the goal is to appoint a suitable candidate by the end of October 2024, with the new CEO starting in December 2024 in its current, as the current term of the CEO concludes. Under the Business Recovery 2017-2020, PJIAE faced two major crises: Hurricane Irma and COVID-19 pandemic, setting the mark growth back by 6 years. And however, thanks to the PGIA resilience and the strategic recovery efforts, passengers traffic is expected to return to pre-crisis levels by 2024, uncovering the airport's capacity to bounce back and maintain long-term growth. So what is our current state of agriculture in St. Martin? So the Animal, Livestock, Fishery Department, which I like to call ALF department. So the ministry has a department, ETT, and an execution department, which is an execution department and an inspection department. Both are responsible for agricultural, livestock, and fishery. Currently, 3 persons in the inspection department and 2 policy workers from the policy department are assigned to the ALF sector, or for ALF matters. However, due to capacity limitation, only 1 qualified person is dedicated to agriculture-related tasks, while most inspectors focus on handling animal and import requests. Policy development and research collaborations are managed by the policy department. So in summary, our ALF consists of just 4 persons. Since December 2022, St. Martin has approved an ALF policy framework that functions as a guide towards the development of agriculture, livestock, and fishery. A copy was also sent to Parliament for review, for perusal. This document provides a blueprint for the advancement of agriculture on the island of St. Martin to achieve the objectives of securing and strengthening food security as a contributor to the economic development of the island. What type of researches have we done thus far? Recently, a published research paper focused primarily on agriculture on St. Martin titled Investigating Challenges and Opportunities in Developing Local Agriculture Food Production Systems in St. Martin, which is a complex adaptive system analysis conducted through the USM, managed by the executive of Mr. Eugene Hochstadt, with the collaboration with the then Minister of TIAD and the ETT department, gives a good insight into the challenges and opportunities of the sector. The paper has already been published since June of 2024 and can be also made available to the members of Parliament. Matter of fact, we're going to be sending that, that publication very soon to the members of Parliament today. Another newly established research is through the E6, Teweo country package. 300,000 guilders has been made available for research in agriculture between the months of June 2024 to December 2026. Currently, a research project proposal is being finalized with the intended results to obtain a better understanding of the support that can be provided to farmers in order to stimulate their further development and commercial environment that they may have available to them to operate. Under educational programs, we have something called the School Agri Initiative. Since 2022, the ministry has been supporting schools with active agriculture programs, starting with 7 schools. The program now includes as many as 13 participating schools. The total subsidy for this program amounts to 36,000 guilders per school yearly. And ETT monitors the efforts of these programs while relevant data is collected through the school's annual report for evaluation purposes. Another educational program is the Hydroponics Train the Trainer program. The EU-funded GO program, Train the Trainer Hydroponics program, is slated to commence in October next month, with 8 schools, 6 primary and 2 secondary, to participate in the program. Participants will receive training on how to build hydroponic system and how to train 9 others from the community to do the same. Government will be responsible for providing the seeds. For budgetary and sustainability purposes, the intention is to redirect the funds allocated for the school's agri initiative to the hydroponics program. Our current state of agriculture is also met with challenges. Challenges like lack of a meaningful Budget. Also, lack of standards, quality control and certification, as well as lack of policy and legislation. There's no dedication, there's lack of a comprehensive infrastructure for policy development, implementation, research, and stakeholder engagement, thus a lack of an ALF department, our own agriculture, livestock, and fishery department. We don't have a full-fledged department. Another challenge we face are the invasive species like the monkeys, the iguanas, and the snails. Fortunate for us, an EU project that will focus on addressing the monkeys issues on both sides of the island specifically is currently being developed with the involvement of technocrats from both sides of the island. And lastly, land space remains a critical issue. Lack of central space for farmers to sell their produce.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
Madam Chairlady, Members of Parliament, the United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS Prison Project. The new prison project consists of two phases. Phase 1, with a duration of 20 months, started in the second quarter of 2023 and focuses on the design and procurement of a sustainable and effective prison that meets international human rights standards and promotes the reintegration of convicts into society. This phase, amounting to approximately $4 million, is fully funded by the Netherlands. The design is expected to be completed in the third quarter of 2024, whereafter the tender for the construction of the new prison will be published in January 2025. Phase 2 of the project includes the construction of a sustainable and effective prison that ensures adequate, safe, and humane detention. Currently, the total cost of construction of the new prison has been estimated at $51.6 million. For Phase 2, an amount of $29.5 million has been reserved in the capital expenditure budget of St. Martin for 2024 and a multi-year amount of 10 million guilders for 2025. The Netherlands has made an amount of 20 million euros available for Phase 1 and 2 of the project. The new prison will be completed in 2028. As a result of the increase in incidents involving firearms in the past few months, the police force is currently working on a crime image analysis for St. Martin. This crime image analysis is also being produced at a regional level in cooperation with all countries within the kingdom. These analyses are used for the strategic choices regarding the approach to crime and organized crime. The Emergency Recovery Program, ERP1, has repaired 19 hurricane-damaged schools. School gym and sport facility repairs are pending, while the Rahul Illich Sport Complex has had its artificial turf replaced and the athletics track replacement is underway through government-funded investments. The Fostering Resilient Learning Project, with approximately $26.8 million from the Trust Fund, continues preparations to rebuild 2 inclusive schools, restore library services, and develop the ministry's management information system. Demolition of the Sister Marie Laurent School and the Charles Leopold Bell School is scheduled for the third quarter of 2024. These schools are anticipated to open in 2026 and 2027, respectively. Ongoing policy developments in education sector include special needs education roadmap, foundation-based education evaluation, assessment of education infrastructure, language policy, literacy and numeracy strategy assessment, framework for higher education accreditation, and roadmap for higher education ordinance implementation. Efforts continue to develop policies for tangible and intangible cultural heritage, aiming for a UNESCO reporting point and co-ratification of the Underwater Heritage Treaty. The Business Outreach and Placement Program, BOP, provides youth with labor market skills. This year's program recently ended with no less than 117 participants and a record number of employers from the private sector. Madam Chairlady, members of Parliament, this brings me to the state of the economy. St. Martin has shown a robust post-pandemic recovery, driven by stayover tourism and construction. GDP growth is forecasted at 4.3% for 2024, showcasing levels back to normalcy. This growth has been bolstered by accelerated reconstruction activities, supported by significant disbursements from the trust fund, new construction via private investments, and by an increase in stayover tourism. Inflation in St. Martin is projected to increase slightly, primarily influenced by global trends, particularly from our main trade partner, the United States. The unemployment rate is forecasted at 5.4% in 2024. This is down from 7.6% in 2021. Stayover arrivals are anticipated in 2024 to be 400,000, approximately a 10 to 15% increase of arrivals in comparison to 2023, and drawing us closer to our figures pre-Irma and Maria. In 2024, we expect 1.4 million cruise passengers. Cruise arrivals have taken a few years to recover, and by extension, increase in passenger arrivals as well. However, we do anticipate further growth this year and by extension in 2025, especially after the FCCA conference that is planned to take place here in October 2024. Efforts of getting the marketplace reconstruction completed is also imperative for the industry alongside beautification and revitalization of Phillipsburg to ensure economic activity remains and passenger experience is enhanced to build loyalty. With the aim of improvement of the economic and investment climate, projects are about to start in particular to address the legislative concerns to ensure that doing business in St. Martin can be made easier. Legislative work is near completion and thus making it one step closer to the Gaming Authority, which will assist with the required regulations for safe and responsible gaming while addressing social issues. In the area of agriculture, livestock, and fisheries, government is ensuring to stimulate the sector in various ways, namely the Green Overseas Program, Train the Trainer hydroponics in school and communities, establishing industry standards and requirements, working alongside neighboring islands to ensure food security, which includes the French side and the islands such as Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, and the Dominican Republic, and securing education programs and funding for business opportunities in the sector.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
the draft, I have a few questions through you, Madam Chair. The first question is, to what extent does the current ordinance recognize the difference between higher education, so professional education, HBO, and WAO? Because based on the explanatory memorandum, it mentions that higher education can be both vocational and scientific, but the difference is not clearly specified in the ordinance. Also, I would like to know through you, Madam Chair, the difference in curriculum as well for the HBO and WAO, because based on what I have reviewed, it doesn't seem to be clear in the memorandum how this difference is made. So if that can be clarified, how this will translate in the curriculum. Also, what measures are being taken to facilitate the transition of students from HBO to WAO? What are the specific agreements on the recognition of the earned credits between those two forms of education? Reason why I'm asking that is in the memorandum, the different levels, there's a lack of clarity between the HBO and WAO and the recognition of the qualifications. So if that can be clarified through you, Madam Chair, to the Ministry. Also, the recognition and value of the diplomas. In the memorandum and in the draft ordinance, I have read civic effect of a HBO diploma versus a WAO diploma, and how that is decided on the labor market and the further educations. What measures are taken to clearly define the difference? Because in the whole document, I'm seeing that civic effect is mentioned, but it's unclear how this applies in the difference between HBO and WAO diplomas. What different accreditation criteria apply to the HBO and WAO programs, and how is the quality of both programs, forms of education guaranteed? Again, by reviewing the memorandum, the accreditation is mentioned as an important instrument, but it doesn't clarify and differentiate the accreditation requirements for the two different levels of education. For example, how it's done within the kingdom. I also saw in the memorandum that there's a difference made, for example, between 180 versus 240 credit distinction. It appears that the bachelor programs may vary from study loads 180 versus 240. But my question to you, Madam Chair, is can the ministry confirm whether the difference is intended to make a difference between the HBO versus WAO programs? And how is this difference guaranteed in practice? Again, relating to the memorandum, is a difference in study load, or is it also in relationship to the level? That seems a little bit unclear.
Madam Chair, I also would like to state that, yes, education is important to build any nation, I believe. Starts with education. When we look at countries that have developed over the last few years that came from, let's say, almost from poverty to now one of the most successful countries in the world, a few of them, it started with them investing in education almost 40 years ago to see the benefits today. So yes, I think today we are seeing a good step forward, and I know that the staff of the Ministry of Education have been working on this for a very long time, and I'm happy that we are this close today. I do have some questions, Madam Chair, based on the presentation, but also some other questions a little off of the presentation, but I'll start with the questions for the Minister. How would the government ensure true independence of the Supervisory Board of Trustees, given the Minister has the powers to establish and dismiss its members? What specific measures are in place to prevent political interference in the day-to-day operations of the higher education institution? How would the government balance the need for the ministerial oversight with the institutional autonomy? I think this is important. We see this a lot, let's say, with government entities, but what we don't want to see this happening when it comes to education in terms of too much, let's say, political interference going forward. How will the success of this ordinance be measured? I believe in KPIs, and I would like to know in a few years from now, how will we measure the success of this ordinance? I believe we'll have, I believe in the data that we have today, but if there's new data that comes forward that says, hey, we have to adapt based on this new information, we should be able to measure the success. What key performance indicators will be used to evaluate its effectiveness over time? What safeguards are in place to ensure that the focus on financial sustainability does not compromise educational quality? So what safeguards are in place to ensure that the focus on the financial sustainability of the institution does not compromise educational quality? How will the 4-year strategic plan, I believe it's Article 97, be evaluated and adjusted if the economic or labor market conditions change rapidly? I'm a big believer in innovation, and technology doubles every 5 years, and I believe in today's time it's doubling even faster. So we have to take that into consideration, and we have to be able to see in this law how it adapts to that. What criteria will be used to designate an accredited body as mentioned in Article 69? How specifically will the economic growth agenda and labor market needs be aligned with the educational agenda for higher education? And what mechanisms will be in place to ensure this alignment remains flexible and responsive to economic conditions? Also, through you, Madam Chair, while we have the USM here, the minister and the ministry, there are a few students that went to USM, I believe under a program that was in collaboration with an institution from Curacao. Today, these students do not have access to transcripts. And it's like they can't, their job is asking them for a transcript. They're going to USM, they've been told they can't, the USM doesn't have the information, which I think is tragic for them. They're being told to go to Curacao, and I believe it's very unfair to these students who went to school here, and now they're being left dangling about and being have to fend for through So, through you, Madam Chair, I really would like that the minister, the ministry, and USM who's here today, please find a way to get some answers to these students as soon as possible. It's very unfair to them that they are not able to access their transcripts, and they are getting no help, basically, from the USM or from the ministry. Madam Chair, we also have a few cases of persons, their diplomas are not being, let's say, valued locally, but are being valued everywhere else. So we have persons that have a bachelor's degree, for example, they want to have it evaluated for their work or for whatever reason, personal reason they may have. They've even paid international institutions in the US, top ones, international institutions in the UK and in the Netherlands. And I've even advised them that, okay, apply to a school in the Netherlands, right? Or even the UK. And if they're accepted there, then obviously the diploma is valued. So how can it be that the schools in the UK, the Netherlands, and even the US is accepting these diplomas, but we are here now saying that is not the case? So I would really like some answers to that also. And if this individual could potentially get even their money back, so have to pay privately to have their diplomas evaluated.